Over the last few weeks, I have seen way too much chatter about why can't we just use Nippert for Major League Soccer? Why can't MLS like Nippert Stadium? Enough already. It's not going to happen. Lay it to rest. And I'm going to help you do that by giving you the top 5 reasons why Major League Soccer won't work at Nippert Stadium. The press box will be closer to the field. Now, I have only sat in the press box one time in a year and a half of FC Cincinnati games, but I can tell you the view from all the way to the 5th floor of Nippert Stadium is extremely high. I found myself watching the game on TV screens in the room rather than through the glass windows because we were so high up. I couldn't read the jersey numbers for either team. But we're just seated way too far away from the action. Props to those who do it on a regular basis. Plus, with the new stadium, you're going to have better camera angles. Have you ever watched a match on TV, particularly on replays from behind the Bailey? And even if you're sitting in the Bailey, you're sitting so high, you can't even see the ball go into the back of the net. That's not good. You're relying on the fans in front of you for their reaction to know if a ball went in the net. And what about the camera angle in midfield high atop Nippert Stadium? Way too high for soccer. That's great for football, sure, but there's a reason why ESPN put cameras lower to field level during the broadcast against the Chicago Fire. Now, watching the replay of that game was a much better experience. From a TV standpoint, sure, a soccer-specific stadium with camera angles more suitable to soccer is an upgrade in my opinion. What does that matter to fans in the stadium? Well, I'll tell you why in reason number 4. Having the Bailey closer to the field. I've been under the Bailey during a match before. And yes, it's loud, but imagine if the Knights of the Bailey were at pitch level, banging their drums all game. The supporters group screaming at the top of their lungs, closer to field level. It will make it even more difficult for opposing goalkeepers and defenders to communicate. And with the Bailey closer to the field, it means you're closer to the field mics, which comes through much more loudly on TV. Thus, being the festive party atmosphere MLS wants to display to the world. Plus, it'll be a much better in-game experience if the seats were, seats instead of bleachers. Unless you're lucky enough to sit in the same spot as a UC football season ticket holder with a seat back. Jackpot. Better concession stands and concourse areas. Now, for many of you, as long as you have access to beer, you don't care. But for a lot of families, they like to get a stadium dog or a soft pretzel. When FC Cincinnati builds their soccer-specific stadium, now the building designers can incorporate better concession items or possibly include stadium restaurants that would provide more revenue. In other words, more options for fans who come to games. Again, it comes down to revenue. More bathrooms, a bigger concourse area to walk around the stadium, all things that can be improved upon when FC Cincinnati builds their own stadium. Having your own stadium means more revenue in FC Cincinnati's pocket. That's a no-brainer here. Having their own facility means FC Cincinnati could host concerts, football games, soccer games, basically any event that could help to bring money. That's what FC Cincinnati needs right now. If they join MLS, they'll need to pay $150 million just to get into the league. But being able to bring in money from other events, selling their own concessions, and doing it rent-free means more money to recoup that cost and eventually use it to buy better talent. No brainer here. No matter how much FC Cincinnati does to it to make it disappear, there's always a constant reminder with UC branding around the stadium. From the second deck on the east side with the retired UC football numbers to the scoreboard, it's still UC's place. Even if UC charges cheap rent, it's still not theirs. Want even more revenue opportunities? With their own stadium, FC Cincinnati can sell the naming rights. They can't do that right now as tenants of UC's Nippert Stadium. And the number one reason why Nippert Stadium won't work, because the MLS says so. MLS requirements, and let's not gloss over that word, state that entry into the league requires a soccer-specific stadium. End of discussion. So if you want Nippert Stadium for FC Cincinnati, then you'll just have to keep enjoying USL soccer. The way MLS works is that the owners don't technically own the team, they're just operators within a share of the league. So think of it as like Joseph operated a Donato's pizza chain, and corporate decided to start requiring him to market and discount sticky buns. Well, he doesn't have a choice, does he? He could fight it and say no, but there would be consequences, which is why FC Cincinnati can't and won't fight the requirements from MLS. If you want into the league, you have to abide by their rules. So, there you have it. That's my top 5 reasons why Nippert Stadium won't work for MLS. Make sure you leave your comments below. Make sure you hit that like button, share, and subscribe, folks. I'm Subes. We'll see you.
1, 2.